Hello and welcome back to the Super Mario Odyssey playthrough. So, we finished off in the Lake Kingdom, and now it is time to head on straight to the Wooded Kingdom, which has got certainly one of my favourite songs for a level in the game. It's pretty bouncy and pretty awesome. And we are going to be spending quite a bit of time here, because it is quite a big space and there's quite a lot going on in here. So, yes, we've got two nice full parts of moon hunting. But yes, Steam Gardens, and it's lovely. Part of me looks at this and thinks, this is basically Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. It's got pretty much exactly the same aesthetic, which just made me just go, oh, it's a little bit of aping Sonic Colors, perhaps, but really that's fine by me, because I do just really like this level. Something else there is that the Odyssey has numerous entrances, which is pretty epic. I love it. So, obviously you can go through the door, you can go down the pipe at the back, which is great, and then there is one other entrance which I will definitely be showing off at some point during this playthrough. So, fun facts, I think I did actually end up having to re-record this particular kingdom. I can't remember why. I think it was some sort of recording glitch that occurred that was just like, oh, for God's sake. Drove me up the wall, it did. But I suppose that's life, innit? What I can say, though, is life has treated me very well in the past few days, because I mean, like, there was the Game Awards, and there was the announcement of Bayonetta 3 on the Nintendo Switch, and just I don't know whether I mentioned it in the previous part or not, I don't really care. I'm just, like, so insanely excited about the fact that I'm getting Bayonetta 3. And pretty much right now, as long as the game's as good as I hope it will be, there will definitely be a Bayonetta 3 playthrough on this channel at some point in the future. Because, oh my god! This basically does effectively cement the Nintendo Switch as being, like, my favourite console ever. The one thing, just one thing that I need now is for the Wonderful 101 to get a Switch port. And that would just tie everything off in such a nice, neat bow that really I don't care if I don't get many other games after that, even though I know I will. But, like, that would mean I could die happy. Because, I mean, already, pretty much every game that I have gotten for the Switch, I have just absolutely adored. And here's the song. Oh, it's just so funky. I'm just loving it. But yeah, I actually only own 4 Switch games, which is kind of a little bit shocking, considering, you know, you'd think I would have had more. But Breath of the Wild, phenomenal. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, a delight. Splatoon 2, really fun. And then obviously Odyssey, which is like my favourite game of this year. So, yes. The Nintendo Switch is batting 4 for 4 right now with me in terms of games that I've adored, so any more to add to that? Totally down for. But yes, whilst we're in here, I might as well go into the whole, you know, naming thing of the Steam Gardens while I get hit by fuzzies, because clearly I am just awful at avoiding them. there's one instance you're going to see in an upcoming kingdom where, yeah, let's just say me and Fuzzies did not get on. But yes, in Japanese, Steam Gardens is Tsuchimu Garden. It's basically just Steam Garden. The Spanish is Jardin de Vapeur, which is Steam Garden. The French, for some reason, is Verdier sur Vapeur. It's basically steam greenery, or greenery under steam, effectively. The Dutch is quite awesome, because it's Hortus Robotanicus. Hortus being garden, and Botanicus being, well, obviously the robo bit being robot, and Botanicus is the Dutch for botanist. So it's the gardening robo-botanists, effectively, and that's just quite awesome. The German is interesting because it's Robo-Hain, which Robo is robot, and Hain is German for grove, so this is the robot grove. Works quite nicely. And then the Italian is Orto Robotanico, which comes from the Italian Orto Botanico, which is botanical garden, and the prefix robo, so once again it's the botanical robot garden, effectively. Apparently, in the initial reveal trailer for Odyssey, there was an electronic billboard for Steam Gardens in an upcoming kingdom that showed that the location was originally going to be called Cogwald, which is obviously a portmanteau of cog, but then the other bit is Wald, which is the German word for forest. So it was going to be called the Cog Forest. But I do feel that Steam Gardens works out perhaps a little bit better, just because, I mean, I suppose Cog Gardens would be perhaps a little bit more accurate, but you have a lot of hydraulic platforms moving about, so I do feel that the Steam idea works quite nicely. Once again, I'm loving the Dutch names for these places. Hortus Robotanicus, that's just awesome. I wonder whether that's going to continue on through a lot of these locales. Because basically, to me, it sounds like the Dutch treehouse, as I'm going to dub them, were doing a pretty stand-up job for this, and that's just awesome. Something that's also mentioned in the Super Mario Wiki for this is, for the Wooded Kingdom, is that the Iron Towers that you see in this place do very much resemble the structures that you see in Singapore's Gardens by the Bay, which I think is like a pretty spectacular nature park in Singapore. Funnily enough, I actually saw a glimpse of it, well, not a glimpse of it, actually a reasonable amount of time of it, in Carrie Hope Fletcher's Watch Me Wednesdays, because obviously, having previously worked in a theatre where the Addams Family UK tour went, I made sure that I was certainly following Carrie Hope Fletcher's vlogs, because she was playing Wednesday Addams in that. It helps that she's just a delight anyway. It also helps that she is actually quite a prominent YouTuber, and so she was sharing all this stuff from the tour, and then they took the tour to Singapore, and whilst there, as part of the vlogging, they went to the Gardens by the Bay to see the light show that happens, and actually that does make probably quite a lot of sense as to why that would be a partial reference, because they are obviously a very iconic place in Asia, and it looks like a really stunning place, and it's that whole mixture of nature and technology, and that's just really awesome. And also, thank God I'm getting use out of the flicking the Joy-Cons to get just that little bit extra distance when I toss my cap. It's a godsend. That said, I do have the very strong feeling that I'm probably going to be doing some slightly stupid things in trying to platform in a minute. So, yeah, you're probably going to see a quite spectacular jump. I mean, maybe it's not that spectacular, but I thought it was cool when I pulled it off, largely because I made such a pig's ear of what's about to take place. Because, yeah, I thought I just want to get stuff, and yeah. That was just ridiculous. And it was just like, you know what? I don't actually want to run down this thing again. Because obviously you've just got to sit and wait, when actually you can make that jump from there. You have to dive to make it, but you can make that jump from there. And it was just like, oh, I feel like a bit of a speedrunner. Obviously I'm not. If I was a speedrunner, I would basically be done with this kingdom already. Because that's effectively what the speedrunners in this game do. They just completely blitz it. Like, they get the minimum number of moons in every single kingdom, and just, yeah, they're amazing. Because I don't know whether they've managed to get it sub an hour yet, but last check it was like an hour and 7 minutes or something, which is insane. Obviously we are way over that point right now, but then I have a lot more moons than any speedrunner would have in their world record run of this game. So you win some, you lose some. There's probably some people who have managed to get these moons a hell of a lot quicker than I am, but you know, I'm just rolling with it because I'm just having fun. That's effectively my whole plan for this playthrough, is just have fun with it. And oh, for God's sake! This is easier said than done to make this walk. I should probably just go, you know, take on the Broodals. That would make sense, but no, I'm just that little bit too stubborn for that. So I am going to continue going on until I actually manage to get those purple coins. And there we go! Perfect! But yes, obviously we have faced down Topper, Harriet, and Rango, so there's only one Broodal left. And he's a fun one. So yes, it's time to take on the larger Broodal of the bunch, wearing a sort of navy purple, I want to say. Either way, this is Spewart. And obviously his name is a pun on Stuart and spew, because he spews poisonous goop over everywhere. I would say that actually on the whole Spewart is the easiest of the Broodals to defeat, because all you really need to do is stay close to him and jump for pretty much all of it. Except that I didn't realise you could do, which just makes this whole process a lot quicker is if when he goes into this particular phase you jump on top of him, it will stop his movements. Pretty much all of the Broodals have something like that you can do to them, but I didn't realise that you could do it with Spewit, and it makes fights with him so much quicker. And also, I really like that when Spewit gets defeated, he goes in like full-on hamster rabbit cheeks. It's just quite awesome. But hell yes, we have our first multi-moon for this area. That's right, first multi-moon for the area. There are 2. Haha. So, now that we've done that, we've got to get to the secret flower field, because there's a little something going on up there that is certainly not looking good if you ask me. And annoyingly, we haven't really gotten that many extra purple coins for this area. I like how they're nuts to obviously fit in with the whole yay, we're mechanical shtick. But that's fine. And now we have these enemies turning up. They're quite cool. I believe they are called Sherms. And I am indeed correct with that. The suggestion for why they're called Sherms is the M4 Sherman American tank, which was used extensively in World War II. That seems to be where they got the name Sherm. In Japanese, it would be a tankero, just tank robot. In French, it's a charlou, which comes from char, which is chariot or tank. German's Schermutzler, or Schermutzler, I'm not sure. Scherm comes from the same place as the English. Mutzer is cap, and Scharmützel is a skirmish. Italian's quite awesome because that's Carlo Armato, which comes from the name Carlo, and Caro Armato, which is a tank. So that's pretty cool. And I should probably also bring up the little uproots, as they're called, the little onion-like things, which are just incredibly cute and actually really awesome to play as. It's really awesome being able to just lift up and drop. It's great. Their Japanese names are Shinobi, which is to stretch one's back to make oneself appear taller. Works out quite nicely. The French is Pupus, which is a portmanteau of pouce, which is bud, and the verb pousser, which is stretching, which works out quite nicely. And I think pretty much most of the translations of that follow throughout the languages, but they've all got very different versions of the name. And this is an interesting duo of parallel moons, because look at how foggy it is. It's almost like we're in Silent Hill. Thankfully, it is quite easy to find all of those moon shards, because you're pretty much given a pathway. You just might get a little bit lost when you get to, you know, that bit where you've got to drop and go underneath the platform. You're going to have much more trouble trying to find the hidden moon, which is just here, but how you're meant to know that this is a thing, considering, you know, you can't see it from the starting area. The only way that you'd ever figure out that this is here is dropping down and flying around enough to figure it out, but it's all good. And annoyingly, there's nothing up there. I thought there would be, but there's not, so oh well. See you later, Paragoomba. But yeah, I think I remember my first impressions of the Wooded Kingdom were just, oh my god, it's so big! I mean, like, I thought Tostarino was big, but this just started to go boom! Even bigger, and the game pretty much just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I say that. The next major kingdom is arguably the biggest in terms of the overall scope of the area and also its density. Like, it's insane. And I love it. I would say it's probably most people's favourite kingdom overall, for a variety of reasons that I would mostly agree with, actually. But I mean, I'm not 100% sure what my favourite kingdom is overall. I mean, I would say it's perhaps one of the ones right towards the end of the game. I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to, but I do really like the Wooded Kingdom, and I think a lot of it is down to just this incredibly funky tune that takes place throughout most of the area, going through once you hit that central hub bit. I don't know, there's just something with the way the instruments play together that just makes me go, yeah, just wanna party, yeah. Yeah, I'm never gonna do that again. There is actually a moon. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get it in this run whilst I'm here, but effectively you've got to take one of these Sherms, who are obviously not the most, how shall I put it, they're not the most manoeuvrable of creatures, to put it lightly. I mean, obviously they can shoot and they can strafe. I mean, oh my god, shooting in a Mario game, what sort of sacrilege is this? Which most people would have said had Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle not come out only like a few months before. But yeah, you've got to get them to the opening area, and actually trying to pull that off can be a little bit of a challenge. Partially because you've got to, you know, find where the Sherms are, but also you've got to make sure that you leg it, and you're able to get over all the bits that you need to with them. And thankfully I gave myself a nice little route to get to that. You see, it was all clearly thought out. Most people would probably blow everything up and then drop down from the top. I believe that might have been what I did my first time round, but I thought, you know, I will try to be more clever this time. I will try to show that I actually think about my moves before I actually do them. I don't. I really don't. You might have already noticed by the ridiculousness of some of my manoeuvres. I just make shit up as I go along. It's basically all of my commentaries ever. I think that's why I feel that Mario Odyssey is sort of my spirit animal in that sense. Yes, I'm going there. Because it's just very quirky, kooky, very freeform. Doesn't really care how you get to certain things or how you complete them. It just lets you do your own thing. And yeah, that's basically me. If it means that, you know, it's a slightly back-housewards way that still gets the results that you need, then it just lets you get away with it. And yeah, I'm totally down for that. And once again, it's basically how all my commentaries work. just see how it goes. And if it works out in the end, brilliant. If not, well, at least I had fun. I mean, I suppose in a way that is obviously, I mean, this is getting slightly serious, even though, you know, we are still playing a Mario game and it's kind of a bit of a non sequitur, but who cares? Obviously, as a creator, you should always care about whether your audience are enjoying something, because if they're not enjoying it, then something is wrong. But on the flip side of that, sometimes people don't know what they want, and you as a creator are not necessarily going to be able to second guess that unless you have a lot of data and facts and comments and stuff to be able to tell whether people are enjoying it. Excellent running, mate. So, pretty much often the best mark of how something is going, at least if you're doing it before it goes out to the public, is, are you enjoying creating it? Because if you are, then no matter what ends up happening with the overall result, if you've had a good time, then you've at least succeeded with something. You've given yourself a fun time whilst you are playing the game, doing the recording, etc., or writing the book, or that sort of stuff. And then everything after that is a bonus, is basically how I see it. Because sometimes people are going to hate stuff no matter what, because a lot of people are just contrary dicks. Because that is just how a lot of people roll. But then also there are people who do genuinely, not generally, genuinely care about stuff and will give you very good feedback. Whether that be positive or negative criticism, but they will give you feedback because they want to see something improve. And then oftentimes you probably should listen to it. Other times, if it's something that you're not necessarily going to be doing forever, then you might perhaps choose to just go, it's all working alright now, so I'll just stick with it until I'm done. Because sometimes you just reach the point where you've done it one way for such a long time that change is difficult. And when change becomes difficult, you become much less willing to try to do those things for various reasons. And because I am someone who doesn't like change, I'm okay with a bit of change, but on the whole, I don't like it. Like, I prefer when things stay the same because then I can feel comfortable and safe. But I think that's the same for quite a lot of people, actually. And I believe that I've just kind of worked my way very quickly away from the point that I was making, or trying to make. So much so that I can't actually remember what said point was. But it was probably something along the lines of, life is life, change is difficult, and sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Sometimes you can. A lot of the times you can't. It's that whole leopards can't change their spots, that kind of shtick. And with certain elements I know that I can't change some of the bad habits that I have perhaps gotten myself into over the years with various things. I mean, I know for a fact that I have a lot of verbal tics, shall we say. Not verbal tics as in, you know, actual tics. More things that I say on a regular basis and really should stop because they may perhaps get slightly annoying to some people, but which I still will not stop because, you know, they become part of my speech pattern. I know that I have said in many things, I've said indeed a lot over the years. Indeed. But I have also, well, yeah, there were just a lot of other verbal tics that I, yeah, have fallen into over the years. Some I've managed to work myself out of, others not so much. And I believe... no. That's the one that I need to go to get those 4 purple coins, because, you know, once I've seen them, I need to make sure that I pick them up, because otherwise I will forget where they are. And that would be really bad, because I know there's been a few occasions in all the recordings that I've done of the game so far, where I've just gone, can't find the purple coins, and there's only like maybe 5 left, and I'm just like, oh my god. Because you then end up having to try and scour the entire area, and obviously these areas are actually kind of big, so it can be a bit of a pain. But it's okay, because we are very, very, very quickly working our way up to the second boss of this area, actually. And that makes me actually quite happy. Because it's a very fascinating boss, if you ask me. And one that, in my mind anyway, would not be out of place in Pikmin. In fact, part of me sort of wonders whether it might have been a concept for a Pikmin boss, and they thought, oh, it actually works out quite well here, so we'll use it. But you'll see it in a second anyway, so woo! I will say this though, it is, I would say, the easiest boss in the game. Because, yeah, it's just ridiculously easy to beat. I'm totally fine with that, but it's very, very, very easy. So yes, here is this sort of weird alien robot flower thing. It also slightly reminds me of a Splatoon boss. And also when I hear it speak, I'm just thinking, oh my god, it's the robots from Nier Automata. It's the robots from Nier Automata! Which would make me feel bad about killing it, but then it's trying to kill me, so I suppose, you know, gotta sort it out. Either way, this is Torque Drift. Not quite sure where the name comes from, but oh well. In Japanese, its name is Mecha Fua Fua-san, which is Mecha Spindrift. And a Spindrift is one of those spinning flower enemies from Super Mario 64 that you jumped on their head and they spun you. This is sort of what it looks like. Spanish is Roboflower. French is Aspirafleur, which is from aspirature for vacuum and fleur for flower. German is Mechaflower. Italian is Turbofiore, or Turbofiore, which is turbo flower. The Russian is Leto Verta, which comes from the Russian Leto for summer and Vertet for to turn or spin. So, yeah, once again, Not quite sure where the torque drift bit comes into it. But it's fine, because he's basically dead already. See, very, very, very incredibly easy boss fight. But it means we've saved the flower fields, so... and also we get a multi-moon out of it, so I am super happy. Beautiful.